everyone, I just wanted to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I do the aftermath. I speak about the aftermath of growing up in abuse. I'm one of those people who I spoke upon yesterday on my previous video who had to find a way through. I had to find a way out, and it took me many years. I was in that abyss, that angry state, but it got to a point where I realised no one was there to save me. It was down to me to help me. And in finding the Johnny Depp Amber Heard court case and speaking my emotions on how I felt real time watching that, I connected with so many people who felt the same. And then grew the aftermath. Me sharing my story, my world, my life of growing up in abuse, in how I found the tools of balance, acceptance, understanding, and connecting those dots from your trauma to the now, to understand your actions and behaviours in the now so you can alleviate that from yourself. Now I'm going to speak about Prince William and how the speculation will start to grow today for he's not turned up to events. And naturally we're going to be worried because we've watched all the events over the last 4 years. This man who was born to be a king, but this man who wasn't born bulletproof. The Truman life he led with his little brother by his side. A little brother that we've watched him try and continuously protect. We watched their first day at schools. Actually, before that, we watched the days after they were born as their mom and dad cradled them on the steps. We watched them lose their mom in the most tragic circumstances and how the world stood still the minute they heard the news. We watched them walk behind that coffin up that mouth. But we also watched them walk away from that day healing, happy, smiles on their faces, connected and healthy. We watched that and we can't unsee that. But the last 4 years, as we all know, it's taken a turn. And William has taken the biggest hits. But of course, the royal family remain silent, remain respectful. This is what they do. This is what he's been taught to do. He still holds that dedication, that loyalty to the monarchy, this country. Never complain and never explain is simply his way. And I bet right now he just wants to scream at his brother, "Keep my children's names out of your mouth." Because after what we've watched over the last 4 years, and we all listen to Harry's woes in poor me, Prince Harry, as he tries to gather as much sympathy. And we've watched all the actions and behaviours. We've watched them target their family. Williams too, as he speaks only this interview just gone and speaks of his children, and we all look on and think, how dare you, when you won't even expose yours to the world, yet you feel it's okay today to speak about them, and that's okay. And we feel that watching on, so we've watched what they've done to him, William. Can you imagine what it feels to be Prince William right now, in this moment? The last 4 years, in how, oh my God, it's continued on a loop, this constant attack, as William is trying to remain this presence, this grace, like he's been trained, but he's a human. He's a man. He's a husband. He's a dad. A dad who watched his mom be attacked. A dad who watched and fears the same as Harry. A dad who chose better rather then bitter. A dad who chose to take the good from his childhood in bike rides with his children, cherished memories that he had been given, to pass that on instead of that trauma. Yet we've watched his brother, we've watched him and his wife do all that they can to bring him down. We watched William be by Philip's bedside in his dying days. We watched him go through it again, saying goodbye to the most spectacular queen who held the most amazing reign. And whilst he was doing all of that, doing what he should do and be there naturally for his family, we had Harry stepping out and speaking out about his trauma, his woes, but it didn't stop there. He continued sharing all that he could to get himself in the history books, but sharing moments in conversations that he had had in private with his big brother, sharing moments at their granddad's funeral, code words that only those two in the world shared with their dead mother. We heard him say about how William drove down the tunnel in the same way. This is William's story, not Harry's. And the only reason I can repeat this today is because Harry sold it away. We see the breaking news, high-speed car chase, Harry and Meghan chased, and how that yellow banner come on our TVs. And we all thought, oh my God. And then, of course, the truth prevailed and it wasn't that bad. But can you imagine William that day as that yellow banner come on his TV in the same way, in that trigger that it would have placed him in because he lost his mom in the same way? This man has been through enough. And he can't fight back. He's simply been abused on the main stage by his brother, because his brother knows their way, he knows their silence, and that's why he's able to continue in this way. But now we have a diagnosis of cancer, his dad. And again, William was born to be king, so that fear of having to step in so soon and not be there for his children, as his wife is also poorly and ill in bed. And we watch William and Catherine do amazing stuff for mental health in the campaigns that they run to shine a light on those, to get help and support, donations. This is what they do. So after all we've watched and seen, after watching what William has faced and been put through as his wife is annihilated across social media by those that look up to his little brother, the little army that it's become. And I think, you know what, William? We've all been listening to Harry's mental health and the impact. So I think you're allowed. I think you're allowed to be there for your wife. I think you're allowed to be there for yourself. I think you're allowed to take a step back for today. Because your brother hasn't given a damn about your family, the impact, or your mental health, as he sits there on a stage preaching about what it is to be kind and what it is to do family. So yeah, take a day out, because the world looking on in the country that have got your back, we support you, and we know you will be back.